today I want to go through how you can gradually improve your relationship with your body from being a little bit more open to actually loving and embracing it. So let's get to it. When you look into the mirror, what is the first thought you have? Are you happy with what you see? Or do you feel like you're looking at some kind of a stranger or someone you don't really like because you don't like the way they appear? You actually struggle with it and you either just want to look away or you go onto some kind of a bombardment of criticism and judgment and self-loathing. Now, if that's how you feel, you're certainly not alone. Statistics show that 60 to 80% of our population struggles at times with body image issues. And that's really sad because ultimately it is something that we are told by the media and social media that we have to be thinner, younger, fitter, taller, or whatever else we need to do in order to be good enough and fit in. The acceptance of the body is not what we are taught. We are taught more that in general, we have to do a lot of work and maybe spend a lot of money to somehow get into an acceptable shape. Now, so most people are either ignoring their body because they don't want to deal with it. They feel like they cannot change it, so let's just push it aside. They're kind of using their body as, that's my acceptable vehicle that I just like a clunker car used to get around, but I don't really want to take care of it. It's not that important. It's much more important, my brain, what I think. Or the third option is to fight it. And that is where constantly that desire to somehow change something with potions and lotions and maybe even surgery is driving that aiming for some kind of a perfection. And nowadays, it really starts already in teenagers, that there is a trend to look at any kind of imperfection that needs to be immediately changed. But can you imagine that there is a way for you to learn to love your body, to actually look in the mirror and feel, wow, I am so happy. Who is looking back at me is a dear friend. How would it feel to completely transform your relationship with your body so that you actually feel closer to yourself and more comfortable in your skin and just stop this rat race, this fighting for meeting some artificial standards that society, mainly old guys that really don't look themselves that great, are pushing onto us. Now, I have not been a great friend of my body. I went through the utilitarian steps when I was in my 20s and 30s where pretty much I didn't really care about my body's needs. I just knew it's there, I use it, and that's that. Earlier on, I went through a lot of body shame because I was the tallest and the, lankiest, not very athletic, and often made fun of as the asparagus in the classroom. Then later on, when I was a teenager, my nose grew faster than everything else, and so that was another reason for kids to make fun of me. They even had a little collection basket, again, a joke, but they said, let's put some money in so that he finally can get his plastic surgery to make that nose a little smaller. Well, that was pretty hurtful. And I was certainly struggling with this for quite some time. But I learned over the years that fighting my body is a battle that has no winner. All you feel is a constant discontentment, a constant lack of peace. And as I was in medical school and as a physician, I also learned so much about the body that just really blew my mind, that made me realize that I'm actually living in a walking and breathing daily miracle. And I learned to appreciate that my body has so much to offer, that it doesn't really deserve to be treated like a hated stepchild. So you could say your body is a very, very important relationship in your life. But let's assume that this relationship is fraught with negativity or conflict or harshness, criticism, with this constant critical eye that looks at all these little ways that are wrong about your physical form. So how do you improve that relationship? The first step is that you're asking yourself, why? Why do I want to improve this relationship? I am so good at hating on myself. I don't know, that's kind of a little hobby of mine. So why should I all of a sudden be nice to my body? Doesn't really deserve it. Well, as I said before, it is a battle that you cannot win. See, if you are, for example, like I did, ignore your body and you're just, not really well taken care of it, you're not paying attention to its messages, to what it needs, well, eventually that backfires, right? That is when you wake up with pain like I did and found out that I actually have gallbladder stones that need to be taken care of. So forget about ignoring it. That could actually not any longer be ignored because it was such a really excruciating experience. That was a wake-up call for sure. But you may have also noticed that there are certain kind of illnesses or certain kind of discomfort that sends messages from your body that says, hey, I need a little bit more TLC. I need a little bit more attention than that. So that would be one way you actually lose because you're jeopardizing your health. But then there is a mental, emotional aspect too. I mean, think about the toll it takes on you to always struggle with your body. You gain 1 pound and you put out the whip and you're telling yourself, no, I need to be in shape. And you are looking at yourself and you're feeling completely insecure because you have this idea that you are, just not attractive or you're getting old. And so you're so unhappy with yourself because you're identifying yourself so much with those imperfections that you're never really at peace. And that also prevents you from enjoying that journey of life because you're too preoccupied with the vehicle that you're actually enjoying or supposed to enjoy this journey with. That for you is just not acceptable. And then maybe the biggest argument is that you actually cannot escape your body. It's going to be with you, just like, sticking to you, as I said, until the last breath you're taking. So you are stuck with it. Yes, of course, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars to somehow make it different, but in the end, it's still your body. These are still your cells. This is still what you are given. And in the end, you have to understand also that your body doesn't want to hurt you. It doesn't want to disappoint you. It just wants to do its best. But maybe you are not doing your best to get a better relationship and start embracing what your body has to offer because you're too busy to focus on what you think should be better about it. So why? To have more peace, to feel more at ease with yourself, to stop focusing so much on the things that are not in your control or difficult to change and just enjoy yourself and life more. And that is certainly something when this primary relationship between you and your body is changing, is in it for you. The other thing is, and that's step number 2, in order to improve the relationship with your body, you need to take ownership. As I mentioned just now, it's not your body's fault, the way it looks. Well, it may be genetics. It may be that, there's something that happened to your body, like an accident. You may have been dealing with scars, or maybe there is something that, because you didn't take care of it, is a little bit bigger or not as well formed, or whatever you are not liking about your body. Or maybe it's simply a fact of aging that you reject about your body, but your body has no intention to let you down. It's not your body's fault. Your body is completely innocent. And if you take ownership, not only about how you treat your body, how you care for your body, which often in itself can make a huge difference in how you relate to it, which you will find out soon, but also how you see your body. Do you see your body as your responsibility, or do you see it as your liability? And if you're shifting this around and you're seeing your body as this is my responsibility to take care of. I am the steward of my body. I may have a mess in my house. I may not really take care of other friendships and relationships as well, but this one, my body relationship, that needs to be improved. And it's in my hands to shift the attitude and shift the behavior that will then allow the relationship to blossom again. Because it is possible. Let's just push aside all these outside opinions and views and realize if 60 to 80% of people are struggling with their bodies, chances are that all the people that you think are judging you are probably even more busy to judge themselves. So they don't matter. The only thing that matters is what you see and what you choose to focus on and how you choose to feel about your body with either gratitude or with loathing. And that makes all the difference. So you decided to improve the relationship with your body. You take ownership and responsibility because you realize, well, my body cannot do this on its own. It needs a teammate. So how can you improve the relationship? Well, I don't know if you ever have been in a long-term relationship and it was kind of a little flat at some point. And maybe you went to couples counseling and that person told you, you need to start dating each other again. You need to start to see each other the way you saw each other when you fell in love. You need to start being a little curious about each other again. And that's exactly what you want to do with your body. Get curious. Who is your body? Have you ever looked a little bit into physiology, into anatomy, into pathology, the things that the body does every day? If you just start looking into these daily miracles, it's gonna blow your mind because your body is magic. And just how it even came to exist, right? From a little sperm and a little egg together, boom. 9 months later, you are a fully formed human being. Isn't that incredible? And when you are looking at these little daily miracles, so you cut your finger and you see the blood running down, but hey, 30 seconds later, it stopped. You didn't even have to do anything. And then over the course of a few days, you see new skin forming and basically this whole healing process developing in front of your eyes as if there is inside of you a doctor who has a blueprint. Well, this is how it's supposed to be. And it just does it. Or when you think about how you may have not treated your body well and you wonder, how can my body live on this really terrible food that I have been feeding it, and it doesn't complain a bit. It just says, okay, I guess Twinkies and Diet Coke, that's it for the day. Let's just somehow get enough energy to still make it through. Isn't it kind of amazing how your body is there for you? Just a faithful ally, which, by the way, is fending off every day bacteria, viruses, even cancer cells, because it wants you to be healthy. It wants you to have a good life. Your body is on your side, but are you on your body's side? And that's where, when you're curious and you learn to appreciate your body more, you can see that all this little superficial discontentment that you were dealing with, nah, it's really not worth it. And even if you have been feeding your body poorly, even if you may have genetically just too much weight and you're suffering and you're struggling and you're blaming your body for it, you still have to ask yourself, my body is supporting me every day because these organs inside of me, my heart, my joints, all of those are trying hard to move me through the day-to-day activities I ask it to do. And I would say it deserves more credit for this than blame for the struggles it also has. Sometimes we just have to understand the body does basically what it does with whatever it has to work with and whatever we give it to work with. And that's where this ownership comes in too. And we're having to ask ourselves, does my body need extra help through medication or through a specific way of nourishing ourselves, through more movement or through more exercise, stretching, whatever those things are? We need to start being the carer, the steward of our body. And that's, once you feel more appreciation, that's easier to do. Now, often people say it's mind over matter. I don't really care about what my body wants. I just tell my body what I want, and then my body better shapes up. I see in the gym often people on the treadmill watching TV or their phones and totally disconnected from their body. And their body may say, I could do a little faster, or this is too much. I already feel in pain. But because it's mind over matter, well, they are not listening to it. And I think we have to really shift this to mind with matter and mind for matter. And that is where this caring for the body comes in. And I find it so important because the body is not able to feed itself. The body is not able to always get, let's say, the medicine that it needs. The body is dependent on us to listen to it and say, okay, I guess you are really suffering right now, or you're really stiff right now, or you have a cold right now, so I cannot push you to go and, have a heavy workout when you actually need rest and a vegetable soup. So it is this caring with kindness, this caring from a place of my body is not my enemy, my body is actually my ally, it's my friend, and it deserves to be taken care of. I have said it many times on this program that I like to see my body like a horse because I love horses, I have horses, and horses are basically that beautiful, strong creature that carries you on its back through, whatever journey you're taking. And this is what the body is doing. It's carrying you, your mind through, or your soul through life. And just like you would want to feed and water and brush and take care of a horse, you just want to have a similar attitude to your body. And I have horses that, are maybe not as fit or maybe not as pretty. I love them all. I find them all beautiful. Then, other people would say, but I don't care. I embrace those beings just like I want to embrace my body as that what I have. And that's what my responsibility is to take care of because they serve me so well. That is the same with the body. Your body serves you so well. So it deserves to also be served to and taken care of. So you have been deciding that actually it's your responsibility to care for your body and to embrace your body as a companion and not anyone that you have to have a conflict with. And so you notice all of a sudden, well, it's not so important anymore the way it looks because we go underneath the skin and realize there is so much more to the physical form than just its appearance. Because in the end, you can be the most beautiful person, but you still may feel unhealthy inside, or you may still feel disconnected from yourself. You may still not feel at home with yourself. And your body connection offers you just that. When you are one with your body, when you feel connected to your body, there is also a sense of being at home with who you are and feeling good about it, irrespectively of other people's opinions. So, how do you deepen this relationship with your body? Well, like in all good relationships, you need to listen and you need to talk, communicate with your body. The listening is simply paying attention. I remember when I was, a very busy resident in cardiology, I did not even notice when I had to go to the bathroom because I was just too much in my head. And, sometimes I just last second realized, oh God, where is the bathroom? And it was just ignoring all those signs, let alone, knowing that when I was hungry or thirsty or tired, I guess I lived on adrenaline in a lot of ways. But it doesn't even have to be so extreme. These commercials that you see where people eat the most spicy or fattening food and afterwards they are belching and, indigestion, blah, blah, blah. Oh, take a little Tums and everything's going to be better. No, your body tells you clearly, I don't like this food. So don't overwrite my messages by shoving Tums down my throat. Just change your food intake. You don't have to have this fatty, spicy, unhealthy food in my system. So your body may actually give you always a little bit of a hint what it needs and what it doesn't need, and you just have to tune into it. One way is really when you're eating, simply to, before you're, stuffing everything into your mouth, just set a little bit the intention to understand, is this good for my body? Is this what my body right now wants? How much does my body want? When does it feel full? Does it need some water? Whatever those things are, just try to be a little bit more aware. Because the cells in our body are constantly communicating with each other. Trillions of cells are having a big, chat all day long. And they are connecting with, all these parts and sharing information. And they do this with you as well. But unfortunately, most of us haven't really understood how to tune in to this radio station of our body. And it's just a practice. Do you feel tired? Do you feel there's any tension or, maybe soreness or stiffness in your body? Do you sometimes get a hint that it would be a good idea to not go to the gym because your body says, I need a rest day. This is really important to me. So just without any judgment or thinking that you know better or telling yourself, no, my body is just lazy. I need to, again, whip it to do what I wanted to do. Just give in. Let those messages become more clear. Follow them. Notice what it feels like. And this way also your body will pay back to you. Your body will help you to heal faster or to, be in a better place of balance and well-being. And the speaking back is really powerful too, because I think there is something where our body also listens to our communication. We know that if we are speaking with kindness and positivity and maybe even love, that there are positive neuroendocrines released into the system. There's dopamine, there is serotonin, oxytocin, and of course, all those endocrines, they're not just poof, getting out of your system. They're actually floating through your arteries and veins, and they are then, transporting these chemicals to the receptors and creating then on a cellular level some positive responses. Things of faster healing or lowering blood pressure or helping with the immune defense. All those things are very well known. I had a client actually several that were coming to me with psoriasis, which is really fascinating. This autoimmune disease where basically your skin is in a constant breakout and This one was covered with psoriasis, and she had like at least 50% of her body with that inflammation. And since it is an autoimmune disease, it was pretty clear that there is something inside of her that is really struggling with herself. So one of the things I ask her to do is when she puts this ointment onto her body, which didn't help at the beginning, I ask her, why don't you add to it some loving messages? For example, I'm so sorry that you're breaking out. I'm so sorry that, I've been fighting with myself. I want you to heal. I love you. I care about you. And just have these little sayings with emotions. You cannot just, use the words. You have to feel something about it. And within 4 weeks, she had only maybe 10% of her body covered with psoriasis, and it got less and less. And of course, there were other things we had to do, but just this talking to herself, she said it was mind-blowing how her body responded to this loving care that she gave her body. So rather than always being mad at it and adding the emotion to the inflammation, she actually was shifting her attitude and became, again, the more healer and the caretaker and not the enemy. And I think you could do that too. Or when you are feeling some pain in your body, just put your hand on that pain and just feel love coming through your hands and caring energy coming through your hands, and just soothe the stress that your body may have in that moment, and see how that feels to your cells, but also how it feels to you to, again, be the one who cares lovingly for your physical form rather than feeling upset about it. Now, other ways to appreciate your body for what it does for you is to recognizing that without your body, you would have no experience of life. It's all about what we touch, what we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we smell, all these senses. Those are the ones that make us alive, that give us a sense of a memorable experience. Have you ever been, I'm sure you have, all day in your head, and at the end of the day, you don't know what happened, how time flew by, and the next day you pretty much, if anybody would ask you, so how was your day? You would have no real answer because it was just not really anything to talk about because you didn't feel anything. You didn't sense anything. But then you have, let's say, a vacation day and you are in this beautiful beach resort and you feel the sand under your feet and the sun on your skin, and you're zipping on some kind of a nice drink and you're smelling the air and all those things that include your senses and make you be present in the moment. Without your body, wouldn't happen. So your body is the anchor for the present moment, the anchor for life's experiences. And that's why the body is such a beautiful and powerful ally, because it allows you to live life to the fullest. I think if you go a little bit deeper, there's also this being able to explore life through the body that I think is almost like a spiritual aspect. And if you see that we are just basically the guests and the body is hosting us throughout this lifetime, again, there is a greater sense of ownership, responsibility, and appreciation that comes forth because it shows you there is no need to identify yourself with your body. You're not your nose, you're not your pounds, you're not your size, you're not the aging of your skin. All of those things are just a part of that, what happens in your body, in your host. And you can choose to, again, take ownership, to take responsibility, be the caretaker, and come from a place of appreciation, kindness, compassion, and love. Or you can pretend that this defines you and this is what, ultimately people will see about you. And so that's the only thing that matters. And this is not perfect. So now you're back in this conflict and you're back in a constant struggle. And you're wasting so much time and so much energy on, again, a fight that is unnecessary. So let's just redefine what beauty is and get away from all those societal pressures and ideas that basically create only a sense of insecurity and not enoughness inside of us. And be brave and choose also in other people, including yourself, to say beauty comes in all sizes, shapes, and forms. Beauty has nothing to do with whatever standard. Beauty is about how I feel about myself. And when I see that my body is such a beautiful friend, it's such a faithful ally, it's such an amazing miracle that is just here to serve me, that in itself makes you look at your body and say, you are beautiful, you are special. I feel that changing the relationship to our body is all about getting away from looking at the surface and really seeing the body in its totality and in its depth, and realizing that we have been only scratching the surface of that, what our body really can offer us and what it does offer us. And so let's start this journey to love your body today by choosing to be curious and open and finding out more what your body has always been able to offer you and you simply have ignored. And then take an inventory and see, what can I do to treat myself better? It is a choice that once we make it, you will never regret. If you enjoyed this episode of Empowerment Solutions, please press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave us some comments. It really goes a long ways to help us to continue to do this work. Thank you very much. Hi, Dr. Friedemann here. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. If you're interested in learning more about fear and anxiety, here you'll find guided meditations, webinars, and interviews with some of the most renowned experts in the field of empowerment. Delve into the over 230 videos and more to come every week.